Quiet becomes familiar when the nervous system feels safe. Let this sentence be the opening tone, not something to achieve, not a goal to reach, but a description of how calm actually works. Stillness is not imposed from the mind downward. It rises from the body upward. When the nervous system senses safety, the mind naturally quiets. When safety is absent, the mind stays alert, scanning, narrating, preparing. This is not a flaw. It is an intelligent response. Today is about establishing mental stillness, not as a special state you visit occasionally, but as a baseline that emerges when regulation becomes familiar. The body leads this process. The mind follows. Many people attempt to think their way into calm. They analyze, reason, reassure, explain. Sometimes that helps briefly. Often it adds effort. Embodied calm works differently. It does not argue with the nervous system. It signals safety through sensation, rhythm, and presence. When the body receives enough of those signals, vigilance relaxes. Thoughts slow without instruction. Quiet becomes less unusual. As you listen now, notice the simple fact that you are supported by the surface beneath you, by gravity, by the space around you. These supports require nothing from you. They are steady. When the body senses steadiness, it begins to release micro-tensions that were held unconsciously. You may not notice dramatic changes. Regulation often feels subtle. A softening here, a slowing there. That subtlety is important. Baselines are built gradually, not dramatically. A baseline is what the system returns to when nothing is wrong. For many people, the baseline has shifted upward into chronic alertness. Thoughts feel constant. Quiet feels unfamiliar. This is not because quiet is inaccessible. It is because the nervous system has learned to stay activated. Learning can be reversed through repeated experiences of safety, not forced relaxation, but genuine settling. Right now, you are giving the system one such experience simply by allowing yourself to be here without fixing anything. Mindfulness is not attention alone. It is attention paired with non-threat. When attention is present and gentle, the nervous system updates. It learns that awareness does not equal danger. That learning changes the baseline over time. You may notice thoughts still arising. Stillness does not mean absence of thought. It means absence of pressure. Thoughts can move through a still mind the way ripples move across a calm lake. Movement does not disturb the depth. The depth remains steady. That depth is what you are cultivating today, not by reaching downward, but by allowing the surface to settle. Nervous system regulation happens through repetition. Each time you experience calm without effort, the body remembers. Memory here is not conceptual. It is physiological. Muscles remember. Breathing remembers. Heart rhythm remembers. Eventually, the system begins to return to calm automatically. Quiet becomes familiar. Familiarity breeds ease. Ease reduces vigilance. This is the cycle. As you sit with this, notice any impulse to check whether you are calm enough. That checking is another form of alertness. You do not need to monitor calm. Calm monitors itself. When you stop evaluating your state, the system relaxes further. There's nothing to get right, nothing to maintain. The baseline forms when effort drops. You may feel moments of mental quiet that last only seconds. That is enough. Those seconds matter. They teach the nervous system that quiet is possible and safe. Over time, seconds become minutes. Minutes become background. Background becomes baseline. This is not achieved through discipline. It is achieved through permission. Permission to rest without justification. Permission to not be productive internally. Permission to let awareness be soft rather than sharp. Sharp awareness scans. Soft awareness receives. Receiving is calming. You are not searching for threats right now. You are receiving experience as it is. That receiving is the signal. The body understands it. You may notice sensations becoming clearer, not louder, but more defined. The feeling of contact, the rhythm of breath. These sensations anchor awareness in the present. The present is where safety exists. The nervous system cannot relax in imagined futures or rehearsed pasts. It relaxes here. Each time awareness returns here without urgency, regulation deepens. Stillness stops feeling empty and starts feeling full. Full of space, full of clarity, full of ease. You may notice emotional tone shifting as well. Less edge, less push, more neutrality. This neutrality is not numbness. It is balance. From balance, emotions can arise and pass without destabilizing the system. That is baseline regulation, not the absence of emotion, but the ability to contain it without overwhelm. Mindfulness supports this by training attention to stay with experience without labeling it as a problem. When experience is not a problem, the nervous system stands down. When the nervous system stands down, the mind quiets. This relationship is reciprocal. Body and mind regulate each other. You do not need to choose one. You allow both. As this day unfolds, you may notice that you return to quiet more easily. Or you may notice that noise still appears, but bothers you less. Both indicate baseline shift. Progress is not measured by constant calm. It is measured by recovery time, how quickly you return to center after activation. Each gentle return strengthens the baseline. You are not resetting from zero. You are building familiarity. Quiet is becoming known. Known experiences feel safe. Safe experiences become default. There is no finish line. Baselines evolve. They deepen with practice and patience. Even now, you may sense that nothing needs to be added to this moment. That sense of enough is stillness. Stillness is not silence. It is sufficiency. When the system feels sufficient, it stops reaching. Reaching creates noise. Sufficiency creates quiet. You can trust this process. It does not depend on perfect conditions. It depends on repetition of safety. You are doing that now simply by allowing this moment to be as it is. No strain, no fixing, just presence. That presence is the foundation. Quiet becomes familiar when the nervous system feels safe. And each time you allow safety without demand, you make quiet a little more familiar, a little more accessible, a little more like home. You may notice that as baseline stillness becomes more common, your capacity to handle small disruptions increases. Interruptions no longer trigger automatic tension. A brief noise, a sudden thought, or an unexpected sensation no longer feels threatening. The system recognizes that calm is not fragile. It learns to return naturally. You are strengthening resilience without effort, simply by allowing quiet to exist. This foundation then carries over into daily life. Decisions become clearer. Emotions are experienced with less overwhelm. Perception sharpens. The mind begins to trust itself and the body. This is the natural result of establishing stillness as a baseline rather than a temporary state. You are not creating quiet, you are uncovering it. And each moment of noticing, of allowing, of receiving brings the baseline closer to home. The more familiar it becomes, the more you can carry that ease with you everywhere, even in the midst of activity, challenge, or change. This quiet, once unfamiliar, is now a living, breathing presence that you can return to